With the introduction of iOS 13, iPadOS, as well as macOS Catalina, it's getting easier and easier to recommend Apple as your next choice of operating system here in 2019, and here's why. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to why Apple is for you in 2019. Now, you can see right here I have a XS Max in front of me. The first reason is simplicity. Now, that's oversimplified to say that, but what do I mean by this? Okay, so when I buy a new Android phone, right, I gotta put the icons wherever I want, which is a nice feature and an argument for Android. But with Apple, everything is still very simplistic, like when the first iPhone launched. So you have your grid of icons and everything is very neatly organized. You don't have an app drawer, so you don't gotta find things in the app drawer, move it to the home screen, organize it. It just takes longer for me to set up an Android phone versus setting up an iPhone. Now, also, I would say that the gestures are more intuitive on the iPhone than they are on, say, a new Android phone, which has sometimes, different options between where you could put the gestures on different sides. You can also put, this is Samsung I'm talking about, you can also put navigation keys. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that makes you have to think twice or three times about how you want to customize your phone. Whereas with Apple, it's just a one-step process. Once you learn the gestures, for example, that's it. You know how to use them, and that's about it. You swipe up to the right, and there you go. You get to your multitasking tray. So I think for the type of phone that you kind of want to use and not even think about it, once you learn Apple how to use the iOS operating system, you don't got to think about it anymore. Whereas with Android, I think you got to always think about where you want to put things or how you want to customize. You might want to change it another day, and that could be a good selling point for that system. But if you resonate with the fact that you can just have a simple operating system that's just polished and works well, then Apple's going to be for you in 2019. All right, so the next one is ecosystem. Now, you might be wondering, why am I showing you the Apple Watch? And the reason why I'm showing you the Apple Watch is because the Apple Watch is one of my favorite Apple products in the ecosystem, and because it works so well and it just seems very much like an iPhone on your wrist. And the Apple Watch Series 4 has been one of my favorite products of the entire past year, and that includes phones, tablets, computers. And because the watch is finally at a point where you can actually leave your iPhone at home and you'll be just fine if you just need to do some basic tasks on the watch. So this is just a fine example of how well Apple products integrate with each other. Now, I combine this thing with the XS Max, and it's been a dream to use. So products like this make it very enticing to go to the Apple ecosystem. So if you care about having the best smartwatch on your wrist, I think then you will want to choose Apple in 2019. The next very apparent reason why you should choose Apple in 2019 is the sturdy and stylish designs. Now, what I mean by this, okay, well, Android phones have been closing the gap over the past several years, but I haven't seen many with a stainless steel band like the one on the XS Max. So Apple always does one little thing, it seems like, above most Android phones, and for me, the stainless steel that runs around the 10 series is that separator for Apple, I think, and it's just really premium to hold, and you feel that versus like an aluminum body, which just feels an ounce cheaper. Now, the S10 Plus, if you go ceramic back, that's probably right at the same level, but stainless steel here at the $1,000 price point where most people are going to buy a phone at the maximum, it just really is a cut above here, I think, for Apple. So they still do really good, sturdy and stylish designs. Now, yes, you can argue, well, that notch is so ugly, and that's really an opinion for many people, but for me, it mostly comes down to, like I say, the stainless steel. That's just not something you see in many smartphones. Now, if you really value software updates, this is where Apple really does shine here. So if I go to software update here, you could see we're on 13. 12.3.2 just came to iPhone like yesterday or something like that. And so you can see you're just always getting updates for iPhone. Now, you kind of get updates a lot on Android now these days. It's just mostly security patches monthly. But with Apple, if there's a security bug or something, consistently they will get on top of it and they will rectify the issue, and everybody will get that update. So it's very consistent. Reminds me a lot of a laptop experience where you're getting updates from Windows or you're getting updates from macOS, stuff like that. So really, if you value timely updates, you're definitely going to still want an iPhone in 2019. Now, I've had the iPhone XS Max since launch day, and I gotta say, ever since this phone, I got it on launch day, it has never lost a beat in how smooth this phone is. I mean, no matter what you're doing, gestures, scrolling through the operating system, it's just super smooth. And when Apple brings a 120 Hz display, it's gonna get even better. But this is super fluid and reliable, and it stays constantly like this all the time. And the touch response at 120 Hz sample rate is just ridiculous. So really, this is something I just can't get over. It's very addictive when using the newer iPhones, is just that level of smooth. Now, the OnePlus 7 Pro is a little bit smoother with its refresh rate, but still, I think this is probably the closest phone to that when it comes to smooth on a non-Android phone. Okay, so the next one is one I'm sure you thought I was gonna talk about, and that's resale value. Let's go to eBay. I like to look at eBay to get a nice market assessment of how the prices are going on the iPhone. Now, here's some XS Max prices. Now, you know the XS Max brand new is like $1,100, and look what people are still selling it for, and I guarantee you these are selling too, because I've sold iPhones on eBay before and they sell like really quick if you do put it at a decent price point. So I mean, this phone is a 256 gigabyte XS Max. I guarantee you I can still get at least $1,000 for this phone, even though this phone is now like 7-8 months old already. As long as I sell it before the new iPhone comes out, I can get at least most of the value back on this. So super strong resale value on these devices, making it a great investment if you care about getting money back out of your initial investment on a smartphone. If you like the idea of face unlock, I think there's no other choice than to pick Apple because of the security and authentication that's built into this. So like when you get a banking app or you pay with Apple Pay, you can use the Face ID. With other phones, it's gonna be a fingerprint sensor, a passcode, or something like that. So while a lot of other phones do have face unlock, I think Face ID is gonna be your most secure option. Now, the second closest to this for me was the iris scanners on Samsung phones, but they don't work quite as well. The fingerprint sensors do work as well, so it's really down to fingerprint or Face ID. But if you like face unlock, the privacy, the security built right into that notch up there is really unbeatable. So Face ID, definitely pick up an iPhone if you care about face unlocking. Now, the next reason to choose Apple in 2019 is the emojis. They also introduced Memojis here in 2019 with the iOS 13 introduction. You can see them right here, Memoji stickers, not Memojis. They introduced Memoji stickers. And you could see that it's kind of taking your Memoji and making it into an emoji sticker pack thingy. So really cool stuff here. And I think if you care a lot about these little communication tools, this is another reason why Apple will be for you in 2019. Now, the next reason, and this could be a strong reason for many people, and that is no bloatware. So if you notice something about Apple phones, it's basically all Apple applications. You don't see any carrier stuff on here. You don't see doubles of anything. You don't see anything like that. It's just pure Apple experience, and it's simple. So there's not many extra applications besides the one that you're gonna install on your iPhone yourself. So in terms of a clean look right out of the box, Apple is for you for sure. The closest thing I think that gets to this is the Pixel line of Android devices, or maybe even Oxygen OS with the OnePlus series. So if doing video is something you want to do and you want it to be simple and just, you know, record kind of like a camcorder, I think the iPhone is the best option. It's just a big, large video button. You change your video settings and settings, come back to the camera, and you just start taking video, and it's super smooth. The focus is on point. It struggles in low light, so I would recommend you getting really good lighting to take videos with an iPhone, but really it's a great starting point, and many people will have no issue with the way your video looks. It's super smooth, and this is probably the phone I would go to if I needed to bring out a phone for, you know, just some quick, reliable video. It's definitely always going to be the iPhone series. So Apple is for you if you care about video performance. If you have a kid or a teenager or something, you want to give them a phone and you want to have a little bit of control over it before you hand off that smartphone to them, the iPhone is going to be the recommendation of choice here, I think, for you, because you have great parental controls and you could share the screen time stuff across devices, so you can kind of always see what's going on that phone, which is pretty great. So overall, I think for family sharing purposes, parental controls, definitely the iPhone is the way to go here in 2019. So that's about it. There's a couple things I didn't mention, like the best tablet experience that goes with this, and that is the iPad. Now, the 2018 standard iPad is on sale right now for $249. I'll leave a link down below where you can pick that up if you don't have an iPad. That's an incredible deal for an A10 CPU iPad. Really still a great one for many folks. So I'll leave that link below. But also, Mac OS integration is also, you know, really smooth. I mean, going from the iPhone to the Mac OS is pretty simple. I mean, they kind of match up very well. So one of the best matching of phone and computer out there. Like a Windows computer doesn't match that well with an Android phone, for example. So that's again with the ecosystem. Also, many applications that do come to the iPhone are just better developed, and they usually come to this device first. So there's so many reasons, and there's many more. And let me know some reasons why you might have chose Apple in 2019, or why you plan on doing so down below in the comment section of this video. Is Apple right for you? I think if many of these reasons in this video were strongly giving you that feeling of, yes, I like that stuff, then definitely you should pick up an iPhone this year if you haven't. And it's only going to get better with 13. So be subscribed to see all the iOS 13 content coming your way from the channel later this year in the fall. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.